I just wanted to talk about Bungie Day for a second. So you know how there's like the stupid like collector's edition that people can buy and they get the full game with all the DLC plus the new like really big DLC, and then also like some bonus content, right? So I added it all up. I believe that's, let me see, so it would be $60 plus $40 for the big expansion plus another 40 plus 20 for, so it's $160 worth that they get for $60, and we had to pay the whole $160 to get everything, and we've been playing since day one, right? So on Bungie Day today, they announced that if you bought Destiny and have played from day one and have all the DLC, you get an exclusive shader and an exclusive emblem. Oh man. Pretty awesome, huh? Actually, wait, no. Never mind. The shader that I'm thinking about, you get for buying Red Bull. It's just an emblem. It's literally just an emblem. Pretty great, huh?
Yeah, Bungie.
Good job, Bungie. Anyways, whenever Aidan gets in the game, we couldn't really come up with anything clever to do for this episode, so we're just going to play Destiny Rumble, and we're just going to talk about stupid stuff. And we figured since it's Bungie Day, we'd play a Bungie game, so why not? And I need to level up some of my stuff, so I'm not going to use my best weapons, I'm just going to use the ones that I need to level up. So I'll do that, I need to level up that, and then... yeah. We're all good. Just waiting for you to get online. So, why do you not like Destiny, Aidan? Because I know... well, like, what are the main reasons?
I mean, the obvious reason is... well, I mean, one of the obvious reasons is that because it's just a short game, in a way.
Okay.
Like, okay, and it's on its own, without DLCs, the game is very limited.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole bunch you can do without the DLCs, especially nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So, like story mode on its own, like, it's basically, the story mode is horrible, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say, because, like, you don't get any story out of it. It's literally just fight the bad guys for the whole time. And then, at the end, like, you have this, like, really horrible boss fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like a boss fight, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, so, like, I can see your comparison there. So, like, Halo, like, with the Halo story, you have this huge universe. And I understand that Destiny, like, has, like, Grimoire and all that stuff. But the thing about it is you can't access it because it's not really media. Whereas with Halo, you have the games, you have the books and comics, you have movies and TV, and you also have like online grimoires types of things like lore and stuff like that. But the thing is, most of it is media. It's not, here's the game, and to find out anything about it, go on our website. It's, here's everything, now you know a ton, but to find out little minute details that are really cool, go on our website. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's the main story of the story problem.
Like, basically, Destiny is, oh, you want to know the story? Go to our website. Don't play the game.
And the thing is, though, it tells you about the universe it is in. Like, it doesn't tell you about your character. Like, your character is just some doofus who you don't even care about. That you can choose from, like...
Also, that's another complaint I have. It's not even an RPG. It was, like, sold and, like, you know, you were being told, like, there's going to be a huge, like, RPG-type world thing, right?
Yeah.
This is, like, it's not an RPG at all. Like,
yeah, not even
aspects
close.
of RPGs,
yeah.
But, like, it doesn't even come close.
Like, if you're going to compare this to, like, you can't compare this to any Elder Scrolls game. Like, no, that would be a joke.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that's another problem. And, like, on the topic of, like, how they sold, like, did the trailers and stuff. Back when, like, we were first finding out about the game, in the couple years before it came out, it was a completely different game.
Oh yes.
Being like
They like redid everything.
pretty much. And
Yeah.
it was kind of annoying because like we didn't expect it at all, and
Yeah.
it ended up just disappointing. But,
So, do you have any other problems with the game? Because there's obviously way more than just the story.
I think I'll just say another main and probably the worst problem in the game, like on its own, about the gameplay is like the loot system.
Yeah. Loot system is terrible.
I don't know. I just terrible because
it's completely random. Like I can understand, you know, they've made it better over time, but it's just not interesting. It's not a cool loot system, you know? It's like in like games like Fallout or Elder Scrolls, you know? You'll go to these specific places and there are certain aspects of randomness, but you'll get specific items, like you'll be sent on specific quests to retrieve specific items that will not be overpowered unless you do something that's really difficult. Like, in Destiny, it'll be like, oh, well, you got last place in Crucible, so here's Galahorn, the most overpowered weapon in the game. Oh man, you beat Atheon 30 times on hard mode, here's the same auto rifle that does no damage for the 5th time in a row. No, it's like that. Whereas in other games, it's like, oh, you killed a weak enemy, well, here's a weak weapon. You completed an awesome quest that's really hard, here's a really powerful weapon. You know, it just makes sense. And I can understand that they're trying to balance it so that when you're competing against other players, or going into higher level things, they make it so that the randomness adds sort of a balance so that all the good players don't, you know, have power over the other players. But there could be a super simple way to fix that, and the way to fix that would simply to be make it so that when you're playing against other people, just make it so that they only can have the same weapons. You know, they have a set amount of weapons to choose from, like in Halo, or even Call of Duty, which is one of the worst games.
Call of Duty is more balanced.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Like, it's sad. And even worse than Call of Duty, even Titanfall is more balanced. And that is really saying something. So I feel like they could have done so much with Destiny. Are there any other things that you can think of?
I don't know, a lot of people say they like the gameplay, and that's probably the best part of the game.
This is true.
I don't hate the gameplay, I don't know, it's not new. You know?
This is true.
It's not anything, you know, so amazing and new. It's just kind of, you've seen it all before.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about it yesterday, about how Batman Arkham Knight gives you that perfect balance of, like, old classic gameplay that everyone loves, but also new cool things that don't make it a completely different game, but give it, like, a uniqueness to that game in particular.
Exactly. But this doesn't really have that. It's more of just, like, typical FPS stuff with, like, a tiny bit of, like, you know, the Titanfall type parkour stuff. But that's about it. So it's just kind of sad, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Another thing that a lot of people are trying to complain about, and that I want to complain about as well, is that the Crucible that we're playing right now is so ridiculously broken, it's pathetic. So, the only weapons that anyone ever uses, right, are either Thorn, the Last Word, or Hawkmoon if you're on PlayStation, which are the exotic hand cannons. And someone did a statistic on the Last Word, which is the hand cannon that I use for PvP. And they said that if you get, if you get a certain amount of headshots on someone,
5 minutes remaining.
with the amount of frames that you're given to kill someone, and the way the human brain works, if you get a certain amount of headshots in the amount of time it takes to just, on average, shoot someone, you can literally kill someone before their brain even realizes they're dead. Which is ridiculous. Now, also, then you have people who have ridiculously long-range shotguns. That's all they ever use, is really long-range shotguns. And then a rocket launcher with grenades and horseshoes, which makes it so that you don't even have to aim with your rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And that, they need to look at that. They need to fix it. They need to nerf some things up in here because there's no variety anymore, you know? It's just the same old weapons, the same things over and over again.
That's why, like, Garden Warfare is one of the best shooters ever, because it has so much variety. Like, every single class, like, so every class, you know, you have your pea shooter and sunflower, they're the same, and then like, they do the same type of things, they have the same abilities, but they each like do damage and shoot differently, and it makes it, they have to actually think about your strategy more. Well, in this game, you just kind of shoot anyone that pops up on your screen. There's not a lot of strategy unless you're playing like skirmish, which...
Well, I guess a better way to put that would be that in Garden Warfare, no matter what you pick, you will always have some kind of advantage. Because, like, for example, if you're you will always be equal to everyone else. Even though you're playing as something completely different, everything is so balanced that no matter what abilities or character class you choose...
There's always a way to counter your opponent.
There's always a way to counter your opponent. There's no time that, no matter what you're using, if you're using a basic class with all the basic abilities, or if you're using a ridiculous class that you unlock way down the road and you have all these fancy abilities, they're equal. They just change the gameplay. One is not better over the other, it's just a different option. Whereas in this game, you are forced to pick certain types of weapons, because if you choose another weapon, you're just going to get outgunned, and no one wants to be the guy who has to use the weapon that just doesn't do as much damage. It's not as fun. Which is why... that's why you see people only using shotguns with long range, or rocket launchers with grenades and horseshoes. It's because it's the only thing that they can do so that they can compete with everyone else, you know? It's just one of those things.
Basically, if you don't have the right weapon, you can't play.
Well, it's not that you can't play, it's just that you can't do well, which makes you not want to play. Because I'm pretty sure that there's no one on the planet who thinks losing is fun. You know, let's just be honest. Also, another problem with Destiny, and comparing it to Garden Warfare again, is ridiculously overpriced DLC. Because...
Yeah, this is actually the really funny part.
That's the funny part, is like Garden Warfare, right? So, we have two, like, really wealthy, good companies. We have PopCap and we have Bungie. Bungie is clearly more well off because they've made Halo one of the most famous games of all time, and it's sold well, and people know it better. And PopCap, you've got Bejeweled, you have Peggle, you have Plants vs. Zombies, you have all these great games, but even with all that, they can't compete with Bungie because Bungie made Halo. Now, I can't even like put it in words how dumb it is that Garden Warfare, a half-price game with 100% free DLC, is a better game, and then you have Destiny, which is pretty much a piece of crap compared to Garden Warfare, that is a full-price game with $20 DLC packs and $20, like, costume packs. Like, $20 costume packs? Are you kidding me? Like, it's unbelievable how dumb that is. Is that and they're better off too. Bungie has more money, yet they're making their DLC ridiculously overpriced compared to Garden Warfare, which is 1,000 times better than Destiny. It saddens me, you know? Like how, and then you have to think to yourself, well, is it EA or is it Bungie? And I remember. I don't remember what video it was, but someone put it really well. This was back before any of the DLC came out. Someone put it very well. It doesn't matter if it was Bungie or EA, and he put it in an example of... Activision? Activision, not EA. Sorry, EA works with Garden Warfare, and even though EA, the most money-hungry company ever, works with Garden Warfare, their DLC is still free. So with Bungie and Activision, right? Someone put it really well. They said that the way to put it is as if you're at a restaurant, and let's say that Activision is the manager and Bungie is the chef, and they delivered you your food, which is the game, and your food sucked. Now, it doesn't matter if it was the manager's fault or if it was the chef's fault. They were both trying to work together to deliver you your meal, and they failed. And therefore, they both are in the wrong. You know what I mean? Because you don't, it's not the chef that you then dislike or the manager that you then dislike. It's the restaurant that you then dislike as a whole because they failed to deliver you your food. So it doesn't matter if Activision is controlling Bungie or Bungie is just sucking at making games. It's just, they failed. They failed to make a decent game. And I don't want to put it like that because Destiny is not a bad game. It's just not as good as we were promised. You know, it didn't live up to expectations, and that's one of the biggest reasons that it gets so much hate, is that it just didn't live up to the hype. And that's one of the reasons that we dislike it so much. And that's why it's not really fair when you compare it to Garden Warfare, which I have said over and over again, it's one of the greatest games ever made, just because of how, not because of like story or gameplay, it's just flat out entertaining, you know? So,
it goes to show you, like, not all games can have, like, amazing
yeah. They can, like,
be fun.
They can be goofy and cartoony, and they can still pull it off, you know? Like Garden Warfare.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, the bottom rule of, like, games, it's not fun.
Yeah. And that's even what Bungie says is the most their game designing process, and they literally say this on their website, is make it fun first, make it make sense later. And they failed on both of those. Because not only is this game, well, okay, I'm not going to say it's not fun, because there are certain aspects of the game that are actually really fun, like doing raids with your friends, or doing, like, Nightfall strikes. But those are very rare occasions, and not everyone has friends on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. And of course, they completely failed to make their game make sense, unless, of course, you read the Grimoire, which we already discussed is dumb. So, yeah. Bungie and Activision, you guys dumb goofed when you made this game. And I'm not saying that this game is bad, and I know that many people have said it before, and me saying it isn't, me and Aidan saying it isn't going to make a huge difference, but it's just, it's not as good as it could have been. And that's sort of the bottom of the barrel right there. When you get past everything, it's just, it's not as good as it could have been. So yeah, those are sort of the big problems with Destiny.
Now let's talk about upcoming games that were...
Yeah, upcoming games that...
ended up like Destiny.
So, the two games that are... Well, okay, I'm gonna say... Let me see, how many? So, the 3 games that are coming out within the next year that I am most excited for, and what I want from these games are, first of all, Garden Warfare 2. Okay? Garden Warfare 2, I obviously... All I want is them to just keep expanding on what they've already made. Because there are...
remaining.
Hello? Aidan, what happened to you? Aidan? This is... Hello? Oh. I hope he didn't disconnect, in which case that would be terrible. Oh! No, sorry. What happened to you, Aidan? Oh. Okay. That was kind of scary. I was like, oh, I hope he didn't disconnect. Anyways, as I was saying, so obviously Garden Warfare 2 is the game I'm most excited for. And like I was saying, I don't want them to change anything. I want them to keep it the way they've made it and just expand upon it as if it were DLC, with like an updated engine.
Yeah.
Because they've already perfected the formula. All they need to do is keep adding on to it. So that's what I want from that. What about you? What do you want from Garden Warfare 2? Okay.
Heavy ammo inbound.
Okay. Exactly.
Also, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they did say that all the DLCs will be free. Just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Heavy
Awesome.
ammo
Awesome
available.
free DLC. And then, of course, Halo 5, which is coming out October. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I feel like what I want from Halo 5 is... I just want a shooter that I can play. Like, I don't care, it doesn't have to be like Halo. I just want a shooter that I can play and that I can come back to over and over again. And every single time I play it, I can say, I am satisfied. I enjoyed myself. I didn't get upset at this game. I feel like I had a good time playing this
Nearly
game.
lost.
And like the story, as long as the story is there, I don't care if it's really good or really bad. I just want a story to exist. Unlike Destiny, that basically has no story. And I feel like, even though Halo 4's story wasn't the greatest, I felt like it wasn't a bad story at all. I just feel like it was a little different than what Halo fans are used to. And that's why a lot of people criticized it. I didn't think Halo was that bad of a story. So as long as they keep, his 343 keeps doing what they're doing with that, then it'll work fine. And then, of course, no bugs. That's something that needs to be looked at, because Master Chief Collection obviously was full of bugs at launch, but is now fine. Most of the time, anyway. Anyways, what about you? What's your Halo 5 opinions?
I mean, from what I've seen so far, I'm actually really excited. And especially, like, how the story's gonna work with, like,
You may
Blue
be-
Team and Red Team.
But you must
yeah.
never surrender.
Red Team lock.
Yeah. Team Osiris yet again. Just like Trials of Osiris and Team Osiris. Come on, guys. Come up with something original. Come up with something original. And, of course, the last game, though, is Game 4, which
Oh, yeah.
I personally think that the Behemoth, as long as they make it with the same heart and, you know, the same ideas that they've put into their other
Can't really
games.
go wrong with Behemoth.
Yeah, the Behemoth, they just...
Nothing to worry about.
And that's the thing that I love about the Behemoth is their first game, right? Their first game was a platformer. Their second game was frickin' what's it called? Beat 'em up. And their third game was another platformer. And then their fourth game is going to be a turn-based strategy game, which is really cool. And I hope that they do a good job.
Actually, like, I remember in one of their videos, they said that the way they make games is like, they take a genre and they basically just simplify it. They just simplify it to as simple as it can while it's still in that genre, and then just kind of put their own spin on it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I feel like if they just do what they did with their other games and put their same heart into it, their same concepts and idea of how they make their games, and just apply it to this new genre, you really can't go wrong. It's just not possible. So my hopes are very high. I hope that they are successful. And those are the games that we're going to be playing. Yeah, we still don't have a release date. Also, apparently, it's not actually called Game 4, and they're going to change the name.
Yeah.
But I feel like they shouldn't do that, because I feel like they shouldn't change it, because Game 4 just sounds so cool.
Yeah, I already got attached to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I just got a message from someone I was in the match. I'm going to see if I can read it. Maybe if he swears, I'll just cut this
I
out.
think it said, I just got one too. It said GG.
Oh, he says GG. Okay, thanks, Duns Leg. Shout out to Duns Leg, everyone. And hopefully you have enjoyed us talking about video games on Bungie Day. Remember when Bungie was, like, awesome? Back in, like, Marathon days? Remember Marathon, guys? Okay, so, anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed us talking about video games and screwing around the Crucible, and we will see you later on. Farewell, goodbye! No, Aidan, you have to be more enthusiastic, remember? Wait for it. Wait for it. Aidan, give the most powerful ultimate goodbye. I'm going to turn down my mic volume a bit. Give the most powerful ultimate goodbye you possibly can.
Goodbye.
Oh. Well, that was pretty good. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Bye.